Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Onita here, and I'm talking to you about all the books I read in February. So, I read 8 books, I believe, let me have a look. Around a total of 8 books, and considering that February is the shortest month of the year, I think I did pretty good. I have literally had a really good month. I've had around 5 5-star reads. I've had one 1-star read, which I was a little disappointed in. And I've also had one DNF as well, my first DNF of the year. First review I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a bind-up of the 3 books I've read. And they're not... do you classify graphic novels as books or just as graphic novels? I don't know, but I'm going to do a bind-up review of the first 3 volumes in the Heartstopper series. Yeah, it's a very popular graphic novel, YA, contemporary, coming of age, LGBTQ plus book series, graphic novel series. Anyway, it follows 2 teenagers, Charlie and Nick. Charlie is gay and Nick has found out that he is bisexual. So the 2 teens are made to sit together in class one day and they end up becoming friends, and that friendship turns into love. And I love this graphic novel series. I gave all 3 of them 5 stars out of 5. I thought it was so beautiful and wholesome, and I could really feel that connection. It felt really genuine to me. Up until, and there's also a trans character as well, which was a really nice surprise. It was really good to see that. There is trigger warnings for eating disorders, bullying, self-harm, but they don't happen until the 3rd novel. Up until the 3rd one they don't happen but it's just so cute. They really care about each other, Nick and Charlie, and they have such a really good support system of friends and family. And like I said, it's kind of a coming of age as well. They are realizing who they are as people and knowing who their real friends are and just learning more about themselves. Yeah, I'm actually quite grateful for these books, because when I realized that February was the shortest month of the year, I kind of was like, oh crap, because how am I going to get 8 books done in a month? But I did pretty good. I ended up reading these in one day, because that helped a lot with my TBR, because I had a few bigger books in here as well. Did I say that I was going to be reviewing these books in the order I read them? Because the Heartstopper one was the first one, the first 3 books I read. The 4th book I read in the month of February is a very, very hyped fantasy romance novel, or series I should say, because it is a series. The book I'm talking about, and my absolute new obsession, is From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout. There's a young woman named Poppy, and Poppy is a maiden, and her life as a maiden is quite a solitary, lonely one. She can't be looked upon, she can't be touched or feel any pleasure, and she can't be talked to or talk to people, with the exception of her companion and her guards. And as well as those things I just mentioned, her job as the maiden is to ensure the future of the Kingdom of Soulless, which is where she resides. And in order to do that, she has to ascend. So she has to be pure. Like I said, she can't talk, feel pleasure or have pleasure and stuff like that. And the ascension and the life of a maiden is something that she isn't sure she wants for herself, but the choice was never hers to make. And then along comes a guard named Hawk, and he is there to ensure that she goes through with the ascension. But things are not what they seem to be. It's a high fantasy romance, and like I said, my absolute new obsession. I ended up pre-ordering the 3rd one after I finished the 1st one. I have a reading vlog for From Blood and Ash as well. I'll leave it linked down below in the description. So I thought that author blended plot and romance quite well. I really, really love the Hawk and Poppy's relationship. Like, she's had her suspicions about the Ascended and the Ascension and everything else as well, but Hawk only heightens those suspicions and just makes her question them even more. And at first, I thought the world building was a little bit lackluster, but I think that was because I wasn't paying too much attention and I was just a little bit too focused on the romance between Poppy and Hawke. When I read the second one, I realized that, oh yeah, there is a bit of world building in here. And like I said, I just wasn't paying that much attention to it. Poppy has these powers which enable her to feel others' emotions, whether it be pain, sadness, anger, etc. And she also has the power to, like if someone's in pain, she can take that pain away for someone. She's been sheltered for most of her life. She hasn't really been told anything at all. A lot of things are kept from her. I think it's because of her ascension and that she has to be kept pure for the future of the kingdom and everything like that as well. Like seriously, I can do any other video. I just can't do wrap-ups. I really can't. It's so awkward to talk about stuff. Lots of action, steamy romance, the side characters are great as well. And I could talk about this book for ages, but if I do, it's going to be a 1 hour video if I do. So I gave this one a 5 stars. Originally it was 4.75 because I wanted, the reason why I had originally given it that rating was because in the beginning I felt the world building was a little bit slack. That plot twist at the end, oh my god, just, I'm speechless. I'm literally speechless. I cannot talk. There was something about it. There's something with the characters or something like that. No, actually, it was a plot twist that kind of gave it not a 5-star read, but then I thought to myself, with the emotions I felt, it was a 5-star read. I nearly cried in this book. I got very teary-eyed. There was this moment in it that was so well done. The author's work with side characters that interact with Poppy, it was just so good. I just... oh, yeah, just watch the reading vlog and you'll hopefully know what I'm talking about. Reading the second one, which I think I'll do another little bind up type of thing for it as well. I don't know why I do that for, but anyway. After reading the second one, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, it really helped me bring From Blood and Ash up to a 5-star read. And now that I've mentioned A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, I'm gonna talk about it, you know, why not? Kingdom of Flesh and Fire is the 7th book I read, but since it's a series and I read the series kind of almost back to back, well, it's not really back to back, I read it in the same month, I thought why not just like bind it up all together. Again, it is the Again, it is the sequel to From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L. Armentrout, and it starts off where the first book left off, because the first book left off on a bit of a cliffhanger. I just loved this one so much. There was so much more to the world building. There was more romance and Poppy and Hawke. And spoiler alert, I'm just gonna put it down here, it won't be long. But Hawke is Castile. And yeah, if you watch my reading vlog, you'll know that I kind of spoiled myself a little bit for it, like a dumb idiot. But yeah. So, and the relationship between Poppy and Hawke, I loved so much more in this one. It was definitely more steamy, I can tell you that. And action as well, and just Poppy being a badass. And we also get to see more about Castile, or Hawke, however you want to call him. I'll just call him Castile from now on. We get to see him a bit more. We get to see his backstory a bit more. We get a bit more... like the characters are a little bit more fleshed out. And the thing I love about it, the Blood and Ash series is essentially vampires and werewolves, but the subspecies, is that the right word? But anyway, the vampires, there's like different vampires, right? They're all, it's complex and it's a little complicated to talk about. I can understand it in my head, but saying it out loud's a little like, okay, so it's definitely complex in that sense, and it's just incredible. I actually want to do a book talk about From Blood and Ash and Kingdom of Flesh and Fire before the third one comes out. This one ended on a bit of a cliffhanger too, a bit of a oh my gosh moment. And in this one, Poppy's powers are evolving. She's learning more about herself and where she could possibly come from. And she has a brother named Ian. I don't think I mentioned him except for now. And he's ascended, right? I was a little bit worried about this book. I was going to give it like about a 4.5 stars until that last bit because it just ramped right up. I thought we were going to see more about Ian because the way it was talked about, I think it was actually the way that it was talked about on the back of the book or the synopsis about the book. It seemed like we were going to be getting more about Ian, Poppy's brother, but we didn't. It was kind of a little disappointing, a little bit, but I understand why we didn't really see him much. So I'm going to stop there because I really want to do a book talk, because if I talk about the series, this video is going to be longer than it needs to be. Wait, did I say what star rating I gave A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire? I don't think I did. No, I didn't. Anyway, I gave that one 5 stars out of 5. So fucking good. The 5th book I read is The Unhoneymoon by Christina Lauren. I'm noticing that there's a bit of a theme happening. The Unhoneymoon is about twin sisters, Olive and Amy. Olive considers herself to be unlucky and Amy is considered to be the luckiest person in the world. And Amy is getting married, but when the whole wedding except for Olive and what's his name again? Whole wedding party except for, my gosh. And the whole wedding party except for Olive and Ethan get food poisoning. It is up to Olive and Ethan being Olive's arch nemesis basically, to take, so Ethan is the brother whose name I can't remember of the one getting married to Amy. So Olive is the sister of Bride and Ethan is the brother of the groom. Those two, Olive and Ethan, are the only two in the wedding that don't get food poisoning. It is up to Olive and Ethan to go on the non-refundable honeymoon, to use that honeymoon voucher basically that Amy ended up winning. And Amy basically paid nothing for the wedding. She just like applied to a bunch of radio stuff and like competitions and applications to, oh, get a free wedding dress, oh, get a free holiday to Hawaii, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I did not have to make the synopsis of the book that complicated. I really didn't. I brought that upon myself and I apologize. So, like I said, it is up to Olive and Ethan to take the honeymoon basically, and all expenses paid, big plus. And they grow closer, and it's fake, it's like enemies to fake fiance to friendship to lovers story. And I loved it. I really did. I laughed out loud quite a few times. There's this scene where they're on a cruise, like a day trip cruise around Hawaii to like one of the islands or whatever. And they had to get, like Ethan and Olive had to get undressed in like a very tiny squishy like toilet cubicle type of thing. Oh my god, that was funny, that scene. It was hilarious. And it was steamy. It was such a good time. And it was believable. And I guess you could say realistic as well. They run into all sorts of kind of troubles on Hawaii when they were on the honeymoon. And like Ethan runs into his ex, Olive runs into her new boss at her new job that she's recently been employed at. And it's a wild time. It really is. I loved the relationship between the sisters. It is basically what twins usually are. They have that really special bond with each other. And the family as well. Actually, I think they, like Olive and Amy, are Mexicans or Latina. Should I say Latina or Mexican? I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah, they are of Mexican descent and they have like Mexican family, and it's a really big, large happy, supportive family, and when things go sour, which, like all romance books, things will go sour, Olive and Amy's family are there for her to support her. And that was really beautiful. I really love when big families come together and support each other. And they both like Olive and Ethan, they go about things in a mature way. I thought the last part of it, how like the final bit, not the final bit, like the epilogue, but bit where they end up getting back together again, because like with all romances we know, there's that climax, that conflict, and then there's that, oh, I love you, I've always loved you, yada yada. And I thought that part was a little cheesy, but it was good for the book. I gave The Unhoneymoon by Christina Lauren 4.5 out of 5 stars. And I've realized that I've left the worst for last. Like, one of them is not a good one in my opinion, but the last one I'm going to be talking about, not this one, but the last one, I just tell you when I get to it. I don't want to say nervous or upset. Well, I am actually a little bit nervous to talk about this one because I do not like this one at all. I'm just going to say it out there. I gave this one 1 star out of 5 and I'm really sad about that. But am I really? Because I wasn't that hyped for it. I thought to myself, oh no, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. Don't worry about it, Onita. But yeah, I should have listened to my gut feeling about it. Like, I should have listened to my intuition. Red, White and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston. I did not like one bit. And it's not that I don't like LGBTQ plus books. I really, really do. And I give these ones 5 stars out of 5. So I really do enjoy books about gay characters. Just this one fell flat for me. So Alex and Henry, Alex being America's first son, whose mother is the President of the United States of America, and Henry is the Prince of Wales. They are known to be sworn enemies. An accident happens at a wedding in England, and it wasn't good for press. And between the the US-UK relations. And in order to make it into like a positive kind of thing, both of their publicists have signed contracts where they have to make it out that they are the best buddies ever. Like, to not weaken the relationship between the US and the UK. And like any kind of enemies to lovers relationship, Alex and Henry, as they spend more time together, they realize that they really don't hate each other. They actually like each other, and a love blossoms between them. Like, they obviously end up becoming friends first, but yeah, you get the point. Like I said, it was incredibly hyped when it came out. It just fell flat for me. When it comes to hyped books, I usually distance myself from them unless I have a really, really good intuition about a book. And I know that blah, 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 blah. And I know that deep down I'm going to love it. This one, no, I know I keep saying I do not love this book and I'm so sorry, but it was too political. I mean, I think that's kind of the reason why it fell a bit flat for me, was because I've heard people talking about it, that it was too political. I know a lot of people love it, so I'm a little bit scared and nervous to be talking about this book in a negative way. Zara, their security guard, she has been with them since, she's been with Alex's family, who are a Mexican family, biracial I think, or biracial Mexican family anyway. And Zara, the security guard, has been with them since Alex's mother went into politics. And I understand that being with someone that long, you would like almost be family with them. But the way that Zara talks to Alex and the family, it's just, I could not deal with that. She should be out. She'd be fired. I do not like her attitude. I understand you have to be a tough person to be a security guard for the President of the United States of America, but I know I don't like the characters that much, except for Henry. I kind of like Henry a little bit. The chemistry between the characters, there was nothing. I felt that there was nothing at all, unfortunately. What else can I do to shit on this book? And I think another thing as well is that I feel like the characters don't have personality themselves. It kind of feels like they're stereotypes. Like, I don't know, I know I do not like the characters. I don't like them at all. But I will say one positive thing that I liked, that when things got tough, because like I said, with any romance it's going to be like conflict or climax, you know. And when things got rough towards the end of the book, I liked how, because Alex's mother is doing a re-election campaign, and around the time of the re-election campaign is when Alex and Henry grow feelings for each other. And I liked when things got tough, because there was one thing I did not like in this fucking book at all. Like, basically, I'll put spoilers down below if you want to skip it. Basically, the opponent to Alex's mother ended up finding out about Alex and Henry being in a relationship, and he exploited it. I hated that in the book. I hated it so much. And just, I'm like, okay, just get this review over and done with. But yeah, when things got rough, Alex's mum and father, because they're divorced, I don't know what that has to do with the book review, but anyway, they make sure that his well-being is more important than the re-election campaign. Like, Alex's mother makes sure to check on her son first before she deals with any complications or any chance of a downfall with the blow up that happened, that climax I talked about. I will give this author a second chance because, one, even though I did not like this book, her writing kept me I don't want to say entertained. Let me just say her writing captured my attention, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And I have a feeling I'm going to enjoy her second book, which is coming out this year. That's why I will be giving her a second chance. White and Royal Blue, 1 star out of 5. And it really pains me to say that. The lucky, or is it, last book that I'm talking about, and the one I read in February, is One Day by David Nichols. And I say read because I got to like about, what page did I get up to? 130 pages or something, and I could not do it anymore. I really enjoyed what I had read up to that point, but I ended up reading, because I was starting to feel a little slumpy, and I thought, oh no, so I ended up reading A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire. Enjoyed that a whole lot more, thinking I would carry that positivity over onto this book. That did not happen. I ended up DNFing it. This book follows two people, Emma and Dexter. It is July 15th, 1988, and they meet for the first time on the night of their graduation in university. And the next day, they have to go in their separate ways. Basically follows them throughout that one day, which was 15th of July, for the rest of their life, basically. And where they are at that point. You don't necessarily see them together, but you do see them individually. And this is definitely more of a character-focused story. I really enjoy character-focused stories, I really do. This one was just a bit dense. Kind of a little bit grim also. Like a bit gloomy, I guess you could say. Like, we follow these characters as they go through some of the toughest parts, toughest moments in their life, and alongside that they have to grapple with their feelings for each other, as well as life in general, with their goals and plans for the future and what their future could look like. Basically, real life, realistic, normal people issues that people go through. Like, this book is not bad by any means. I really enjoyed what I read. And another thing, I felt like this book was going nowhere in a hurry. Like, I was trying to skim read the book as well, just to like pick out pinpoints, like pick out little sentences in the book, and hopefully I would get through it faster. Felt like that when I was skim reading it, it was taking me longer to do that than when I was actually reading at my normal pace. Does no one answer their answering machines? Does no one do that in this book? I ended up finding some spoilers about this book because I wanted to know what happened, but I didn't want to have to read it to find out how this book was going to end. And like I said, she's a pretty dark book. It's a pretty sad ending. It really is. And I was like, okay, good thing I DNF'd it when I did, because that would have just shattered me if I had have read the whole book only to have an ending like that. Like, even though I only read like a little bit of this book, I still enjoyed the message and the meaning behind it. Just basically to like seize your opportunities and live life to the fullest and just kind of be spontaneous in a way. To seize your opportunities because you don't know when you're going to get another chance at that opportunity again. And I found the word I was looking for instead of grim and gloomy, and it was bleak. It was sad, slow, and bleak, this book. But apart from that, from what I read, I would normally enjoy character-focused books surrounding, like, you're never going to get a second chance, so you might as well jump at opportunities that'll come for you because you'll never get a second chance again. I would normally enjoy books like that, but like I said, I didn't. I DNF'd it, and those pages and chapters I read, I really enjoyed, and I ended up giving it a 4 stars out of 5. That's about it for this video, and these are the books, as well as From Blood and Ash, A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, The Unhoneymooners, Red, White and Royal Blue, and One Day. So those were the 8 books. I don't know if I'm going to add One Day by David Nichols into like books I've read in the year, but I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out whether I should include DNFs into books I've read throughout the year. Whether I can, but just minus them when I do the statistics at the end of the year. Had some really good books, had 2 duds. Overall, it was a very good month. Since it was February, I read a lot of romance, and I really enjoyed all of the romances, like except for the other 2 books. Let me know down below in the comments how your reading month was in February. How many books did you read? What was your favourite? I know my definite favourites were From Blood and Ash and A Kingdom of Flesh and Fire, because like I said, they are my new obsession. And let me know what thoughts or opinions you had about the books I have read. And that's it for me. Thank you, and hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!